All right, some topic today I'm going to talk about is anniversaries. Anniversary in aspect of the military. I'm looking at basically live days or just celebrating anniversaries of guys that has passed before. And I have two specific, and it's the 24th and the 25th of this month. It was actually Thanksgiving back in 2010 when all this went down. I lost one of my Marines. He got hit by an IED, ended up taking his life, and then the next day I had to go back out on patrol and deal with the loss of my lieutenant. And the biggest thing is I was 23 years old. I had no clue what basically we were walking into, and I basically was dealt a cards. I was dealt certain cards, and I had to deal with them. I came back from the deployment. I drank. That's how I coped with it. I drank and threw myself into my work. Um, anything and everything I could do to basically, block out the thoughts, I did. And I blamed everybody else around me for the loss of my guys. I felt like everybody else was walking around and they never understood, what was really going on in the world. I didn't until that time. And I felt like, people were just kind of acting like everything was fine and they should all be sorry, they should all be sad. And and it wasn't until about 5 years I actually started dealing with the issues and actually starting to address them. And that was when basically, I just lost my mind and I just couldn't cope with anything else. I couldn't deal with anything. I couldn't basically just do my job, period. I was eventually put on medication for it. The medication didn't help. So basically, they tried a different medication. And it was 2 years of me basically going to a treatment facility to try and get help. Um, and it's basically put me on a better path. I'm not going to say it didn't do everything, but me going into the facility has helped me basically move on in my life. And now I'm out. Now I'm basically retired and dealing with my life. But going back to the anniversaries. All right, so every year I usually basically run up to the hill back in California and like go to their crosses and pay my respect to them. I moved out to Connecticut, so now I don't have a hill to run up to and go pay respect. Now I basically, post stuff on Facebook, reach out to my guys and talk to them, or just go up my hill and put a beer on my tree where I basically have their memories at. But, I feel like this year I'm a lot better off than I was last year dealing with it. I don't like Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's never brought really good memories to my mind after that time. And so now it's like I try to basically go out there and put on a face for my wife, my kids, and go see our family. I put on a face and try to play the role, but realistically, I don't like it. But I definitely try to deal with it in a proper way, and I've been addressing it better and better each year of dealing with these different things. And I feel like this year I'm a lot better off because I'm building a support group. When I was in California, I had a support group. I had guys I could go to talk to. I had guys that I served with, and so it was a lot easier for me. Coming to Connecticut, I don't have a support group. I don't have the same people that I serve with. They're not within basically a driving distance or anything like that. So I instead, I went out to the gym and I started basically working out. I didn't really mean for this to happen, but it did. I started interacting with guys. A lot of guys were law enforcement, fire departments. Some of them were even veterans. Never knew that was going to happen, but it did. Um, Interacting with them, exchanging phone numbers, talking to them daily basis. And the reason why I go to the gym is because it's supposed to basically help me decompress from the daily daily things. I don't really do much, but sitting in the house and not doing what I usually do is not exactly my ideal lifestyle. I needed something to drive towards, so I went back to fitness and interacting with these guys and like exchanging numbers and knowing that I could reach out to these guys. They might not have the same experience as I have, but they have an idea of what I'm going through, and they're literally just there to listen. Some of them might want to give you answers, but realistically, none of us really have the answers for anybody. But that's my biggest thing that I'm doing right now. I'm using the gym as one of my outlets for basically my stress, my depression, and just my misery of basically being out of the military and not being around the guys that I love. And then I'm using basically the guys that I've met as basically a buffer for a situation that could come up of me basically going into my head and just thinking about my losses of my friends. And last year, I basically sat on the couch and I did nothing. I just sulked, misery. I want everybody to feel sorry for me. This year, I actually have guys that I could talk to, and that's the biggest thing right there. It's getting out there and talking to other people. I don't like it. I hate talking to people. I hate interacting with people. I feel like I'm I'm better than this. I'm better than just being a regular civilian, but I'm not. I'm a civilian, and I need to get used to it. Um, and it's hard to ask for help when you're the one that was always giving aid to everybody else around you, and always basically being that guy that everybody looked at. Oh, you could do this, you could do that. I pushed it away. I basically tried to act like everything was perfectly fine, but realistically, I wasn't fine, and now I'm dealing with it. But at the end of everything, what I'm trying to say is build a support group for yourself. Find something that you can basically throw yourself into and actually deal with. Don't basically just sit there and sulk, because it's only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. It never gets better by basically secluding yourself and, giving into your pain and your sorrows. It always gets worse. And I'm just telling you from my personal experience. I have tons of other guys that are my friends that have dealt with the exact same things. And they have basically said the exact same thing. Sitting there and dealing with it and sulking never helps. You're going to be left with your demons in your mind by yourself, and that's never a good idea. Going out there and interacting, being around people, whether you talk to them or not, is a lot better, because you're at least taking that step to get out there, and that's what people need to do. That's what guys that are struggling with the same exact thing I'm struggling with, that's exactly what they need to do. And I'm hoping that guys that are struggling with this reach out to guys that they serve with. I I've talked to a couple guys that are like literally struggling with the exact same thing that I'm struggling with, and I didn't even know, because we all put those happy pictures on Facebook, happy pictures on Instagram, showing everybody how good we're doing, but nobody really knows the day-to-day struggle. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get down to. And I hope guys will take that step and shove that pride down to the bottom of your stomach and interact with people. You never know what's going to happen, and it might actually be a great surprise.